What's going on? Thanks for checking in. Today I have an 8-week box jump progression that you should be doing to enhance power. So make sure you stay tuned, check this one out. Okay, so first things first, we have to understand the stretch shortening cycle in order to produce the power that we're looking to produce. So basically, simply put, right, is you're gonna jump higher from a position where you use a counter move rather than, starting from a static position and jumping up. Same thing in the swing, right? If you land to swing at approach and don't do a counter move, you're not gonna have as much power if you do, your load, which is a counter move into it, because we're utilizing the entire stretch shortening cycle. And the stretch shortening cycle has 3 main components to it. So the first phase is the eccentric phase. This is the first phase of the stretch shortening cycle, during which the muscle lengthening under tension. This phase occurs when the external force causes the muscle to stretch, such as when an athlete is lowering themselves into a jump. The eccentric phase is important because it allows the muscle to store all that energy and create a spring-like effect. Then, number 2, at the bottom of the rep, we have what we call our amortization phase. This is a brief pause between the eccentric and concentric phase of the stretch shortening cycle, during which that stored elastic energy is rapidly released. This phase is critical for maximizing the power output of that concentric action. The shorter that amortization phase is, the more efficient that whole stretch shortening cycle is. I like to cue my athletes that, hey, the floor is lava. Let's spend as little time on that ground as possible. Let's tap and explode up. Then the third phase, this is where we're making all our money, is the concentric phase. This is the final phase of the stretch shortening cycle, during which the muscle contracts very rapidly and forcefully to produce the force of the movement. This phase is where that stored elastic energy is released to help produce a more powerful contraction than would be possible with just a concentric contraction alone. So overall, if you're trying to produce a lot of power, you need to incorporate the entire stretch shortening cycle. You need that eccentric loading, you need that quick amortization phase, then you need that quick and explosive concentric phase. So in training, if we're doing an 8-week progression to produce power, specifically today, I'm gonna show you a box jump progression. We need to train each component of that stretch shortening cycle directly. So the first 2 weeks, we're gonna face straight on that breaking up the concentric phase. Then the next 2 weeks, we're gonna add a little bit of momentum, add more of the stretch shortening cycle into it. And then, towards the later weeks of these box jump progressions, we're gonna eccentrically overload the stretch shortening cycle to make the body produce more power. So the best way I like to put this is like a blind guy, okay? If you go blind, a person's hearing picks up to aid in survival. If we train taking out portions of the stretch shortening cycle, when we put it all together, the entire stretch shortening cycle is gonna work a lot better and produce a lot more power. So let's follow along. I'll take you through this box jump progression. Each drill in the progression you're gonna do for 2 weeks and then cycle to the next one. So let's hit it. This is a static box jump. We're hacking the stretch shortening cycle here, so breaking it up. The athlete is gonna go ahead 2 feet forward, get as close as you can to the box. The idea is to not gain momentum into it, no counter move, nothing, right? They're gonna snap down, hold a position to where, they would redirect into a vertical jump. They're gonna pause there for a second, and you can do one of 2 things here. You can have a partner go on command, they can clap and you can explode up onto the box, or you can just pause the momentum for 1-2 seconds and then go up onto the box. So go ahead, Sierra. Yeah, you can wait on my clap. So snap down and fire up. This is very good for softball, baseball players, because you not only need to produce force in this sport, right? You need to do it from an external cue. Hence, sit and slider, throw a slider, you need to sit on it, hit it. This is a seated box jump. I like cueing the athlete to rock back on a bench or a small box. You want the athlete in roughly a 90-degree angle. This is one of the most powerful positions an athlete can be in. Then we're gonna have the box out in front of us, right? Athlete's gonna rock back to create some momentum, and then you're gonna slam your feet in the ground and get up onto the box. Rock back, get up on a box, nice. Now we're progressing the box jump a little bit. Now we're gonna add in the stretch shortening cycle. So we're gonna snap down into a counter move and then get up onto the box, right? It's basic common sense. You know, if you were to go jump as high as you can, you're not gonna stop and sit in the hole. You're gonna snap down and get up, increasing your elastic potential. So same thing here, athlete's gonna step up close to the box. I like to cue them go up on your toes, hands high, snap them down, snap your heels into the ground and explode up on the balls of your feet. So get up on you, snap down, get up, good. Here we're progressing the box jump even farther, increasing that elastic potential of the movement. So we're adding an elevation. So the athlete's gonna fall from an elevated surface, try to spend as little time as possible on the ground. They call this an amortization phase. You want to picture the floor as lava, so don't get stuck down there. Touch it and back up onto the box. So we have the box here, athlete's gonna fall, tap the ground, come up and land. Down, get up, money. Good. Hey, that's a wrap. Thanks for tuning in. Go ahead and add that progression into your training to produce big vertical power and get the most out of your box jumps, you know, as you train, as you develop. Also, this is one for the softball ladies out there. Make sure you are staying tuned. Me and Sierra are up to something pretty cool. We're about to release a softball program that you're not going to want to miss, and that's going to be available for signups very, very shortly. And always remember that I pump out 2 of these YouTube videos per week, so do me a favor and subscribe for me. I appreciate you. We'll catch you next week. Game rewards the grind. It knows how much you invested.